Emily and Liam are a married couple living on a peaceful farm in the outskirts of the city. They share a deep love for animals, especially their horse Apollo, who has been a part of their family for many years. The couple has lived happily together, spending their days caring for animals and managing the farm. However, one day, Liam began to have strange ideas that Emily couldn't quite understand. Liam is a creative person, always eager to experiment, but this time he proposed a plan that made Emily feel extremely uneasy. He wanted to shoot a live video of Apollo, but not just any regular video. He wanted to create a special moment to capture the audience's attention without informing Emily about the important details. Emily started to feel pressure when Liam mentioned the idea of a live stream, without prior consent from her. Emily loved their horse as part of the family and didn't want to turn Apollo into a tool for gaining fame. However, Liam seemed very determined, even saying that this would be a great opportunity for both of them. One afternoon, Liam prepared everything for the live video. Emily could feel the tension in the air as he constantly adjusted the camera and lighting, talking about creating the perfect moment. Despite trusting Liam, she couldn't ignore the feeling that something wasn't right. The shift in Liam's attitude made her feel uneasy. Once everything was set up, Liam asked Emily to stand close to Apollo and show the connection between her and the horse. However, unlike before, this time the atmosphere felt strange. Apollo, sensing Emily's anxiety, widened his eyes, and his ears kept flicking nervously, which made Emily even more worried. Emily asked Liam to explain the video more clearly, but he answered vaguely, saying, "Just trust me, everything will be fine." But the tension grew, and Emily felt as though she was being pushed into a situation she couldn't control. As Liam focused on adjusting the camera and angles, Emily could no longer bear it. It felt like everything was slipping out of control. When Liam asked her to act more natural, Emily realized this was no longer a private moment between her and Apollo. It had turned into a performance, and she didn't want to be part of the game Liam was creating. At that moment, a soft click from the camera made Emily flinch. When she looked at the camera, she realized that Liam had started the live stream without telling her. Viewers were already joining the broadcast, and comments began to appear, some curious, others sensing the tension in the air. Emily felt completely betrayed, thrust into a situation she never wanted to be a part of. She tried to stay calm, but the pressure and invasion of privacy pushed her past her limits. Emily asked Liam to turn off the camera and stop the stream, but Liam didn't immediately respond. He said just a few more minutes, claiming the stream would end soon and nothing would be too serious. But Emily felt deeply betrayed. She couldn't understand why Liam would do this to her, why he would go against everything they had built over the years. The sense of betrayal grew even more when Emily saw the comments on the screen. Some viewers were questioning the tension in the air, while others seemed to enjoy the scene, thinking it was a fun performance. Emily felt like she was being dragged into a game she didn't want to play, and she realized that fame wasn't worth more than trust and respect. Unable to take it anymore, Emily decided to turn off the live stream. She walked over and disconnected the feed, ending the broadcast immediately. Liam looked at her in shock and disappointment. "What are you doing?" he asked, as if everything could still be salvaged. "You've crossed a line," Emily replied, her voice firm but shaking. "You didn't ask for my consent, didn't give me a chance to agree. You were only thinking about yourself and fame." At that moment, Emily discovered something strange. She found a piece of paper tucked inside Apollo's saddlebag. She opened it and read the brief but chilling note. It was from Liam, revealing that he had been hiding an important truth. Liam had created this perfect video to cover up a mistake he had made in the past, a mistake that, if revealed, could destroy everything. Emily felt a deep sense of hurt and disbelief at what she was reading. She turned to look at Liam, and for the first time in their relationship, she didn't recognize him. This wasn't the man she had fallen in love with. He had become a stranger to her, someone willing to do anything to protect his secret, even at the cost of her trust. The conversation that followed lasted through the night. They decided to take a break from everything, to give themselves time to think and reconnect. Their relationship could never go back to what it was before. But at least Emily had realized that fame and recognition from others weren't as important as their trust. she decided to take time for herself, to rebuild her trust in both herself and in Liam. The following morning, Emily woke up with a heavy heart. She had been unable to sleep the entire night, with thoughts swirling in her mind about what had happened. The feeling of betrayal was still fresh, like an unhealed wound. She gazed out the window, the morning light casting its glow over the vast fields, but her heart felt heavy and unclear. Liam had not yet woken up. She knew he was trying to figure out how to explain everything, but Emily had already had enough time to think. She clearly felt that their relationship had changed, and though she still loved him, she couldn't continue without real change. Liam walked into the room, his eyes slightly red from lack of sleep. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice low and full of concern. "I know I was wrong, but can you listen to me?" Emily looked at him, her eyes no longer filled with the trust she once had. She shook her head. "Liam, you don't understand. You didn't just hurt me, you hurt yourself too. You let fame and control blur the values we've built." Liam sat down, his hands clenched. "I was wrong, Emily. I didn't foresee how things would get so out of hand. I just wanted something special for us. I didn't know how to handle it when everything started spiraling." Emily felt a deep sadness settle in her heart, but she knew she couldn't continue in this uncertainty. "Liam, I can't just live for you. I can't just live for what you want to create. I want to live true to myself. I want peace, without worrying about how many people are watching us or how many likes we get." They sat in silence for a long moment. Both were reflecting on what had happened, on things left unsaid, on things still misunderstood. That evening, Emily decided to take a walk around the farm, the one place where she had always found peace. But today, everything felt different. Under the moonlight, she sat by the pond near their home, feeling a weight on her chest. She thought back to the early days when she and Liam first met, their beautiful memories still fresh in her mind. But now, those memories felt like a distant part of her life. While sitting and reflecting, Emily heard footsteps behind her. She turned around to see Liam standing a short distance away, his eyes glistening with regret. He walked over and sat down next to her, silently. "I know you need time," Liam said, his voice rough. "But can you give me one chance? A chance to prove that I'm still the person you can trust?" Emily looked at him, her heart filled with mixed emotions. She wanted to believe his words, but fear still lingered. "Liam, I can't give you a chance to fix everything just because you said sorry. I need to see action. I need to see that you understand what you've done." Liam nodded, his face showing determination. "You'll see. I'll do everything to regain your trust." They sat in silence, feeling the cool night air. They both knew that their relationship could never go back to what it once was, but it didn't mean it couldn't heal. All they needed was sincerity and time. Over the next few weeks, Liam did everything he could to correct his mistakes. He stopped seeking attention through videos or likes. Instead, he dedicated his time to Emily, helping with the farm and caring for Apollo. He no longer pushed everything into creating events. Instead, he learned to cherish every moment together. Emily began to see real change in Liam. She saw him trying, not just talking, but acting. They spent peaceful nights talking about things that mattered more than creating content for others. The quiet moments in their relationship slowly brought them closer. However, one day, by accident, Emily discovered a deeper reason behind Liam's need to make everything public. He had a significant debt from before they met, not from business, but from a personal loan that could lead to serious consequences. But instead of facing the truth, he had chosen to escape and hoped that creating videos could make others admire him. When Emily found out about this, she didn't feel angry, but rather disappointed. She realized this was a story they would have to face together. "Liam," she said, "I can't live with someone who hides the truth, but I also can't leave you. I want to help you get through this. I'm not going anywhere, not going." Liam sat down across from Emily, his hands trembling as he told her everything. The story about the debt, the fear he carried for years, and the mistakes he had tried to hide. Emily listened, and for a moment, her heart softened. She couldn't change the past, but she could change how they faced it together. Together, they began to plan how to resolve the debt and their financial issues. Emily not only helped Liam overcome his fears, but also helped him understand that living honestly with oneself, no matter how difficult, was always the right choice. After weeks of working on their relationship, Emily and Liam slowly began to find their rhythm again. Though things had changed, they both realized they were no longer the same people as before. Emily wasn't just the woman who took care of the farm and animals. She started to reconnect with her own passions and interests, things she had once put aside. Liam, having gone through a tough time, began to understand the true value of sincerity and genuine relationships. Day by day, they spent time taking care of Apollo and working on long-term plans for the farm, without the pressure of fame or external expectations. They focused on the peaceful moments they shared, no longer with cameras or lights, but with genuine conversations between the two. Emily began to feel the trust slowly rebuilding, though it was still fragile. One late afternoon, as Emily and Liam were caring for Apollo in the barn, Emily realized she had found peace again within herself. She stood next to Apollo, gently stroking his sleek coat, feeling the special connection between them. "You know," Emily said, her eyes lighting up with a soft smile, "we don't need to do big things to feel happy. All we need is to be together, sharing these moments." Liam stood next to her, his eyes filled with regret and love. "I know, Emily. I was wrong, but you've given me a chance to make it right. I'll never let you down again." Emily looked into Liam's eyes, a warm feeling spreading through her heart. She didn't need perfection from him, but she needed honesty, sincerity, and real love. She had learned that happiness didn't come from external things, but from the way two people faced challenges together and overcame them. However, just when Emily thought everything was okay, an unexpected event occurred. One morning, as Emily was checking their bank account, she noticed a suspicious transaction. A large sum of money had been transferred from their joint account to another account she didn't recognize. She knew this wasn't a mistake. It was a deliberate action, and her heart sank again. She didn't want to doubt Liam, but everything had happened too suddenly. Emily decided to ask Liam about the transaction when he came back from the farm. Her heart began to race as she saw him walk into the house, his face showing tension. "We need to talk," Emily said, her voice serious but controlling her anger. Liam stopped, his expression unchanged, but his eyes showed some concern. "About what?" Emily held up her phone, pointing to the transaction. "Can you explain this?" Liam glanced at the phone and then looked away, not meeting her eyes. Emily's worry grew stronger. She knew this wasn't just a small matter. "Emily, I can explain," Liam began, his voice low and tense. "It's a loan I took to handle all debts. I didn't want you to know because I didn't want you to worry. I thought I could handle it on my own without causing you any harm." Emily felt a heavy shock. What she once thought was a peaceful, happy life was now revealing hidden secrets she had never known. The feeling of betrayal flooded her again. "Why didn't you tell me?" Emily asked, her voice trembling. "Why keep it all to yourself, making me discover it?" Liam lowered his head, his shoulders heavy. "I was scared. I was afraid you'd leave me if you knew the truth. But now that you know, there's nothing I can do about it." Their relationship was once again at a crossroads. Emily couldn't deny that she still loved Liam, but she couldn't keep living with lies and secrets. She needed to face the truth and decide whether she could continue down this path with Liam. They sat across from each other. No more lies, no more hiding. "Liam," Emily said, "I love you, but I can't live in uncertainty. I can't live with someone who keeps secrets, especially ones that could ruin everything." Liam took her hand, his eyes filled with pain. "I know, Emily. I've made so many mistakes and I'll never disappoint you again, but you need to know that I want to fix it all, no matter how long it takes." Emily looked at him, her heart no longer tense. She knew that, whether she wanted to or not, things would never be the same as before. But she also knew that for them to move forward, they needed to share the truth and rebuild trust together. In the weeks that followed, Liam changed completely. He worked hard to pay off his debts, and most importantly, he was always honest with Emily about everything in his life. Emily, though still worried, began to realize that love wasn't just about beautiful moments, but also about patience and facing challenges together. Finally, they returned to Apollo as a way to remember the simpler days when everything felt right. They stood in the field, caring for the horse, feeling the peace of simple moments and slowly rebuilding trust and love. The story doesn't end with a perfect resolution, but rather a journey of understanding, learning, and healing. Despite the mistakes, Emily and Liam overcame the challenges together. They learned that nothing was more important than honesty and trust in a relationship. Apollo, their horse, remained a symbol of love and connection between them. And though there were hardships, Emily knew that she would continue to walk this path with Liam, not for perfection, but for what they could rebuild from the cracks.